We alive. What it do, what it is, what's happening, what the business be, what up, though? What's happening? It's your guy, Nate Bennett, with another phenomenal episode of the Extraordinary Exchange Podcast, brought to you by the men of the Extraordinary Investment Group. We are 2 of 12 black men. We're about to get a third black man here in a little bit. That's in the community doing what we can to inspire growth and success through education and smart financial strategies. We got an official co-host now, used to be a guest on the pod, Mr. Yannick Roll. What's going on with you, Yannick?
What's going on, brother? Everything's looking good.
Yeah, man, we here, we living, we in Atlanta living. We got Benz. He's going to be in the 4th Hollywood Square coming up here soon. But we got another amazing guest that I think y'all are going to get a lot of value from, hearing her story, hearing her testimony. The guest tonight, she's more than just an author, but she has a book called Toxicity to Thriving, and she's a rising voice in faith-driven healing for women who are ready to break free from toxic cycles and step boldly into their purpose. Her work isn't just built on theory. It's rooted in lived experience, real struggle, and the kind of transformation that only comes through surrender, faith, and perseverance. Through her writing, her platform Purpose into Action, which y'all will hear about, and her growing influence. She's helping women reclaim their peace, rediscover their worth, and turn pain into purpose. I'm trying to tell y'all about to get the real tonight. It's a conversation about healing, identity, and what it truly means to stop surviving and to start thriving. Without further ado, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Octavia Floyd. What's going on, Octavia?
Good. How are you?
We're doing well. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to have this extraordinary exchange with us. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to.
Pittsburgh's own, right? Born and raised?
Born and raised in Pittsburgh, yes.
PA all day. I'm a Philly guy, but I we still represent Philly. PA, so sure. Yeah, so let's start with your I told you before we started recording, I love a good origin story. So beyond that intro that I just gave, in your own words, tell everybody who you are and what it is that brought you to the pod tonight.
Definitely. Yes, born and raised in Pittsburgh. I went to school to become a news anchor. That was my goal. That was my dream. I graduated in 2014 with my BA in communications, and that wasn't God's plans for me. Obviously, it didn't work. So I started working as a fraud investigator for over 8 years. In this last 2 years, 2024 to 2025, God stepped in and said, you know what, it's time for you to step into what I'm called you to do. And because he knows me, he knew I'm not a quitter. So I wasn't going to just quit. My comfortable, you working for a company for so long, you get comfortable in it. So what God did was he took away 3 positions from me back to back, like 3 different companies, 3 different times. And so I said till the last one came, to the last position he took away, I said, you know what, this is not happening by coincidence. This is happening for a reason, a divine purpose. And so when I decided to give up what I thought my life was going to be and surrender to what God was calling me, the workbook that you see behind me happened the next month. And so for the last year, I just been out here trying to do God's, what he's called me to do. It has not been easy, because when you say yes to God, a lot of things you have to give up that you're used to and what you're comfortable with. So he got me in a season, you know what, I'm calling you to be the first in your family to break generational curse. So it's going to come with a price. So I'm a mother, 6 of us. I'm born and raised here. I'm number 5. And it's always the sibling that you count out, this black sheep who people counted out. And God said, I'm going to use that particular person for this. So that's a little bit about me.
Powerful. So you went to school to be a news anchor, but what positions did you end up holding that you got released from?
I was a fraud investigator. So the last 3 positions that was taken away, I worked for a company called Pfizer.
Wait, Octavia, you're telling me I work for Pfizer right now.
Oh, dang.
He does.
I
Yeah.
worked for
I used to work
Pfizer.
for Pfizer. Yep.
That is amazing. That's
Wow.
that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
First National Bank and a company called Shaniga. I work for the IRS. So God was
Wow.
like, no, 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 daughter, I have something for you. You
That's
gotta
right.
learn to commit to it. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep having these positions taken away from you. Um, so that's what he did.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you said God knew you or knows you.
He knows me. I'm not. I
You-
wouldn't have quit. I'm being
right.
honest, and I would have
In your
kept doing
testimony. So did you grow up in the church, and how did that influence kind of that character development as you were going along?
Yes, I grew up in a church. Just like I said, there's six of us. We're like the Braxtons, five girls and one boy. I'm number five. My mom took us to church. I grew up in a church home, but again, we all grow up and we make our own decisions in life, but we all come back to God because that's how we were raised. So definitely was raised in the church. I raised my daughter in the church. I have a 20-year-old, so helped her raise in the church as well.
Absolutely.
It's so wild seeing folks that look young that have like grown kids. Like
Yeah.
Onyx got grown kids that have graduated and got from high
In
school. You got
college,
grown
yeah.
kids. I got a 23-year-old. Like I'm like, well, man, she just got a 20-year-old. Ain't no way.
Yeah, we look young.
So yeah, let's get into the nitty gritty. So toxicity to thriving. Um,
Mhm.
is this part of your personal testimony? Like, where does the toxicity fall into the equation right here? And then, of course, you're thriving on the other side. But you care to get into your personal testimony and
Oh,
how
definitely, yes.
without
Toxicity.
giving out everything in the book, right? Because I don't want they gotta y'all gotta get the book, y'all gotta get the workbook. But yeah, you could definitely learn from someone's testimony for sure.
Definitely, yes. Toxicity is basically recognizing what is your toxic thinking. Is it fear? Is it doubt? I want you to recognize what yours is and identify it. The workbook basically gives you step by step guide on how to get you from toxicity to thriving. I think a lot of times people feel like if I'm not thriving externally, meaning if I don't have certain money in my account or certain lifestyle, that means that I'm failing. Like thriving happens within. A lot of times I kept asking God for certain things. He said, no, you have to be right within. You have to, because otherwise you won't be able to stewardship what I gave you. I'm asking God for a husband, but do I know how to be a wife? Am I healed from childhood trauma? So the workbook basically goes over step by step how to recognize it. Go over like renewing your mind. If you want to thrive, you have to renew. You have to renew your thoughts, for learning how to forgive people. A lot of times so much unforgiveness be led in your heart, and I teach how much unforgiveness can show up in your actions, in your heart, and in your words because you chose not to forgive particular people. I mean, I go over everything on my last page. I give you my personal testimony, but the workbook is basically to help somebody else identify their mindset and their toxic things and to release some of it. I have a second workbook that I just got published. I have it right here as well. The second edition, where we go even deep and dive in, where we talk about mother wounds, father wounds, how we show up pretending to be okay when we're not okay, and admitting that. I talk about singleness. I mean, I know all about I'm 38. I'm still single. So I go over the longevity of being single for so long and feeling you're behind in life. I mean, the workbook goes even, I mean, the second one goes, we go all in the second one. So I wanted people to get both hand in hand. I want you to start the foundation, and then the second one, we're going to go like dive, sweep. We're going to dive in the pool, even get to the nitty gritty even more. So that's what basically the workbook is entailing or talks about.
I'm just, blown away, like bringing bringing God back into the picture, is something that is a lacking thing and a lacking aspect these days, I would say. I feel like, you know, you, Octavia, kind of bringing that to the forefront is refreshing for people, in this time right now where a lot of things are occurring, you
Mhm.
know, and we have our normal day to days and things of that nature. But like you said, you bottle some things in and it becomes toxic to you. right? Your mentality starts to change, right? So having something that can talk to that point, and for folks that keep things to themselves, you know, it gives them you're giving them the ability to kind of like lay it out and see that they're not alone in that struggle.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's just it's refreshing, to be honest.
Thank you.
Yeah, especially in a culture where you got to be politically correct. Everybody's getting canceled for for all kind of stuff because you want to make sure you're maintaining, your social and your professional, positions, but you still, you're a person of faith,
Mhm.
right? And you certain things you're not supposed to say. We just seen. I mean, we're kind of dating ourselves right now. I try not to date certain things
Mhm.
in the episodes because I don't know when this is going to be released. But you just had an NBA player that just got cut from a team this week for talking about his personal religious views, right, and how it pertains to what's going on in society right now. So to see someone again so unapologetic about your faith and using that in your testimony and helping other people heal through your workbooks is absolutely refreshing. So must respect to you on that. We're gonna bring Benz up here to the stage in the fourth Hollywood Square. What's going on, Benzino?
How y'all feeling tonight?
Good, brother.
As
Good.
well as well. Chief Financial Officer within our investment group. You'll see him at the Juneteenth event. Octavia was actually the first official vendor for Juneteenth. So salute to you on
Thank
that.
you for that.
It's on Sunday, Father's Day. We're gonna have a great event. Something you said, Octavia, that um, had me think about right our identity. Right, you talked
Mhm.
about being a mother, working for Pfizer, being in different positions as a woman. Shout out to just women nowadays in 2026 having more options, having the ability to sit in your singleness and not be, shamed for it as much as you did back in the day, right? A woman's worth used to be in did she have children? Did she have a husband? What was her home life? How good of a homemaker she was. So I say all that to say, when you strip all the titles away, author, speaker, mother, like who is Octavia Floyd at her core, and how does that person navigate this world?
Octavia is someone who doesn't give up. That's why I knew that God had me lose some position because I'm not I don't give up easily. If I'm very strong minded, I'm very strong minded. I'm very determined. When I put my mind to something, I don't. No one can change my mind. I'm fixated on what I want to do. Um, Overall, like I said, I didn't think this would be for me because me personally, I'm very quiet, very to myself. And for me to step out of my comfort zone, I definitely had to ask God for confidence because this is not me. I'm the type of person you probably won't even hear from. I'm quiet in the corner, you know. But sometimes we feel we feel it's our downfall is really God can turn that thing around. So you know what? There's something inside of you that you may not be aware of, and now I'm feel confident because I know this is what I'm called to do. So I don't go in there timid and shy. And if I'm nervous, it's okay to admit to God, give me the strength to keep going because I don't want nothing to prevent me from keep going. But again, overall, besides all those titles, I'm shy. I'm very determined. I'm very outgoing, and I don't wait for nobody. People are like Octavia don't wait for no. I would literally leave. I would do what I got to do. I don't allow people to stand in my way. Determined, like I said, I'm very determined. I don't allow people's opinions to get me to feel otherwise because I'm strong. Because I know who I am now. My like you mentioned, your identity. I know my identity. And no one tell me otherwise. So I lock the ears or close the ears of anybody's opinion because I know who I am. And that's important to know because if you don't know who you truly are, you'll be easy manipulated. You'll be easy, people can take you to where they want you to take because you don't have a strong will. So knowing your identity is crucial, I believe. So that's exactly who I am.
Understanding oneself and self-awareness is kind of a big thing. Knowing your flaws and being able to work through them, work past them is a big um issue for most people. What made you want to decide to put everything out and just write a book about your story and what happened with you?
I was called to this. Again, this wasn't my plan. My plan was to become a news anchor. That was my. Like I said, I was strong willed on that. I went to school for it. I wanted to be a news anchor. So, and then once that plan didn't work out, me working as a fraud investigator for over 8 years, I thought that was going to be the end of. That was it for me. I was going to work for in this field for the rest of my life. And then God said, "No, I have a calling for you." Again, this was not. I didn't think of this at all to do. um I was just pushed and caught into it. So I see why God used he used my very pain to help somebody else. I realize in life what we go through is not for us, it's to help someone else. And God knows my story, what I've been through, what I experienced, and he used that very pain and turned it to purpose. um so that's basically how I got here. Again, this wasn't my plan at all.
That pain to purpose slogan is powerful. We find so much value and inspiration in other people's testimonies. If you don't mind sharing, what's some of that pain that you overcame in your past, and what now is your purpose as a result of that pain?
Not knowing my value and worth. I think as women, we don't know our true value and our worth. And because I didn't know, I accepted anything because out of desperation or loneliness. I didn't want to be lonely. And I think a lot of times we have to do inner work. Going through therapy also helped me as well. Knowing a lot of that my pain, what I was carrying could stem from childhood that I thought I outgrew or I thought I healed from. But not knowing my worth and value, I would accept less. I didn't want to be lonely or overextended myself because I felt this was it or this was better. This is the best I can get. But not knowing me now or know who I am, I'm okay with being by myself until God sent me who I'm supposed to be with. I'm not looking no more. I used to search high and low and be bitter. That made me bitter. It made me angry. I was full of anger in my heart, and it was coming out, in different ways and showing up in different ways because I was be jealous, I would be envious of other people. So I learned knowing also what God has for me is for me. So I know no one can take it, no one can steal it, no one can borrow it. And now that I know that, I'm not envious of anybody. I'm happy for anybody. Again, I don't want what you have because I don't know what your story. I don't and the comparison also was my biggest thing. I would compare myself because I felt I was behind and everybody's ahead of me. Like everybody who's my age got what I wanted or far ahead. But that's not always the case. That's what the enemy wants me to think. That he wants me to think they have better than me. He wants me to think I'm behind. He wants me to feel like this person has a better life than I do. So it's again renewing your mind, knowing your value, your worth, your identity is crucial. Because otherwise, you won't listen to what the enemy says or what people say. When you learn to tune your voice to God and hear what He says, all that tunes out. I know I'm not behind. I know exactly where I'm supposed to be. Even though when it feels like I am behind, being honest, sometimes I do because I'm getting older in age. Because we think of time, God's outside of time. But I'm like, God, is it coming? I get impatient. I'm still going to work on my patience. But as much as I may be tired of waiting, I'd rather wait for God and try to do it myself. I tried it my
Yes.
way. It failed multiple times. I kept repeating the same mistake every time. That's repetitive. You keep making the same choice, hoping for a better outcome. That's delusional if you think about it.
Right.
You're not going to get the result you're looking for.
Let's stay there for a second
Okay.
because faith leading much of what you do, right?
Yes.
There are people in faith who go to church faithfully, who pray faithfully, who are believers that are still toxic as well. Like being in the church doesn't absolve you from being toxic. So, and then when you talk about, some of the situations you stayed in for a while, I think men and women. I don't want to just make this a gender specific thing, but you see women in faith stay in bad situations because they mask endurance as holiness, right?
Mhm.
Long suffering and stuff of that nature. And I think your brand speaks to that. So speak to that kind of the spiritual aspect, and then also someone that had a relationship with God, who has a relationship with God your whole life, grew up in the church, but you still had that duality with the toxicity at the same time.
I would say this. Do you apply the word to your life? I used to do the same thing. I used to go to church on Sunday, Monday through Saturday. I did what I wanted to do. Didn't pick up my Bible. I did what I wanted to do. And how you expect to shift and transform by just literally going to church one Sunday and the rest of the week, you're not praying, you're not reading your word, you're not in God's presence. And that's a lot. That's when I did the most mistakes, not being in God's presence. So I would say, how's your relationship with God? That's the most important thing, not your religion. You go to church every Sunday, like you just said, and nothing changes. But you're not playing God, you're not speaking to God, you're not talking to God. You go to church once a week, I mean Sunday, and that's it. Um, I used to do that, and nothing changed. Me spending more time with God is what transformed me. Me being in His presence, I read my word daily. I'm talking to God. I talk to God throughout the day. It's just me and God. He got me in a season where just me and Him. He literally took away my distractions. I have no distractions in my life. No one has my attention. No one has my attention, my time, or anything. So that was transforming me. It's this all stems from relationship with God. This is not going to happen on a Sunday basis, and Monday through Saturday you're edifying your flesh. It's just not going to work. You need to constantly be in His presence. You got to constantly be in His word. You got to constantly apply it to your life. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect either, and I had to learn to stop trying to become perfect, because I'll never be that. But then I say to myself, did God say you had to be? No, He did not. He doesn't want a religion. I think a lot of times people say I go to church, they automatically think, oh, you're perfect. No, people who go to church because we're not perfect. If that's the case, nobody would go. If God created everybody perfect, then no one would need to go to church. Nobody would need them. So if you want to develop that change transformation, you have to spend time with God. You have to have a relationship with God. Like you mentioned before, this is faith based. I put what I put in here. I'm thanking God for things that hasn't happened yet. I'm thanking God for a husband I don't know yet. I'm thanking God for my family I don't have yet. I have one daughter, but I'm thanking God for everything I know He says going to happen, because I trust in what He said. This requires faith. Me investing my time as I am requires faith. And I wouldn't have done this by going to church once a week and Monday through Saturday, living my life the way I wanted to live. Just not going to work.
Would someone who is just beginning their faith journey find value in your content?
Yes, I think it's easier. I think it's best to start early, so you eliminate your choices that you're going to make. You eliminate other people's voices giving you opinions of yourself. I think if you start early, you eliminate all of that. But I would say if you're starting off with your faith, don't beat yourself up about it. If you make a mistake or you feel you didn't get it right, I don't get everything right. No one is. No one does. And it's okay to admit that. I think the best thing to do is open your heart up to God. Like I said before, I was mad for years. I had anger in my heart, and I thought I couldn't tell God I was mad at Him. Tell God how you feel. He knows anyway. So now I say, God, I'm not right. I'm not okay. I'm not happy. I'm not hiding anything no more. So if you're starting off, don't hide anything. Give it to Him. Tell Him. He knows anyway. Give him your deepest, darkest secrets that no one knows about. He knows about it anyway. So you can't hide anything from Him. And I don't pretend that you're okay. Don't think because, oh, I gave my life to God that automatically, because if you try to live in a religion like I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, you're gonna fail. And you're gonna find yourself miserable because you're trying to live up to this expectations that God never put on you anyway. So that's what, and I say this is a great start, knowing your value, because I talk about your identity. I explained in the workbook that a lot of times your identity comes from other people's opinions. Like people tell you you're not going to amount to nothing. You're not going to You're going to stay stuck in poverty. No one's going to hire you. So you not if you believe it, you're going to apply it to your life. So if someone right now can tell me about me, and I'm like, here, right? I'm not even listening. I wouldn't pay you no attention. You know, that's why it's crucial to know your value and your true identity.
I was literally at a workshop a week ago, last Thursday. Shout out to Miguel, to Mig. He's a head of this group called My Brother's Keeper. But the conversation in this space was about suicide prevention, and they mentioned you speaking about identity, how you have those external conversations that or narratives that people put on you, and then you have the internal ones, and you're constantly fighting between the two. But then when you find that true, authentic voice, outside of the false narratives that you've been telling yourself, through the childhood wounds that you might have, the expectations you might have as an older sibling, that's something that I could relate to when they were talking. I was like, yeah, I always had to be the man of the house, right, growing up because I didn't have an older father figure. And I still, to this day, in certain spaces that I'm in, hold those things. So, yeah, identity is really, really important. I like how you mentioned that right there.
Yeah, I did.
It's crazy. You was talking about the other day on the call. Uh, Sometimes we get stuck in our identities.
Yep.
It's 50-year-old men out here think they still a football star or the case may be. And sometimes you get stuck in that identity. You don't realize that life changes. Everything that's changing around you is to performing in an earlier state. Um, and that puts you at a disadvantage oftentimes. And and understanding that there's a greater purpose for you and a greater mission for you. Um, Oftentimes that you move past those stages, move to that next stage. I guess I'll say.
So you were like, all right, enough is enough. Done being toxic. I've gone to therapy. I'm healing, or you already healed. What
Mhm.
did the process look like from like a logistical standpoint of like how you turn things around? Again, without giving out all the
Mhm.
intellectual properties in the book, right? Actually, the book, what did that look like? You know, what did that process look like for someone else that may be healed or may have a story, right? Because that's the biggest, another big thing. We were just talking to another previous guest, Ben's, where he was like, I didn't think I really had a story, right? We all have a story, we all have a testimony. What did that process look like for you to put that on paper, to get it published, so that you can get that out for the masses to heal with?
Just knowing that my pain wasn't not in vain. Knowing that another thing what also helped me with this was knowing my spiritual gifts and knowing that God created me with the gift to encouragement. So when I in mind, this is a form of helping and encourage somebody else. Because all the things that I've been through, we think it was just happening to us. If I didn't experience what I experienced, I wouldn't have a story to tell. And it helps them because a lot of times we feel like we're in this by ourselves. When I went through certain things, I'm like, I'm the only one. I'm the only one who's this age, been through this, still single. This and I'm not. There's thousands of not just women but men who's been in that state. So knowing that this is to help somebody else and that my pain and what I went through was not in vain. And I always had in my mind, a lot of times we ignore them because again, society tell us this is what success looked like. I never, when it came to jobs, it was always something. You know, I never felt like me working for somebody was what God had for me. There's always a situation may have happened, but again, we ignore those things because we used to what the world says is success. The world says you have to make a certain amount of money to be successful. You got to go to college to be successful. That's the world's identity of success. God said, no, it ain't. Your success becomes when you deny yourself and you live the purpose I have for your life. There's so much. I think a lot of people are living a lives that they never was supposed to live because they
Mm.
refuse to allow. They're so fixated on what the world says looks like success and how you make money and how you do this, and that's why so many people, in my opinion, who celebrity wise mentally are not there because you're living a life that you probably God had something totally different for you. But because you focused on what the world said is success, And now you're living a life you're not fulfilled, you're not happy. Inside, you got the money in the world, but you're lost, you're unhealed. You're doing all this like Ray J. People like him. It's like you would think, he's crying out like the stuff that he says. You would think because he got his money and fame that he's living this perfect life. No, money does not. If you God, you can gain the whole wide world and lose your soul. You can have all the riches in the world, but inside you, it ain't right with you. So, knowing that to me is success. Knowing who you are, living life that you're supposed to live, and not what the world says you how to live it. Um, and getting out your comfort zone and trusting in God. Um, Trusting Him in ways, like I said, I gotta trust in Him in ways that it's hard. I'm being honest, it's hard because I'm not in control. It's not looking how I want it to look. My life is not how I want it to look right now, but I gotta trust in what He said. He said I'm gonna be the first in my family, the first, and I trust that, and I believe, and I'm living my life based on what He said. So it may not look like it right now, but it will. It's gonna happen. This wasn't happening just for it to happen. God didn't give me a checklist. Okay, you did it. No, there's more in store. Um, as I said before, when God took away my last position, you would think, oh my gosh, financially, it's gonna be over for me. It hasn't. I was able to invest in you guys and say and you're not the first vendor I'm doing. I'm doing another one next week in Philly. So all these opportunities that I'm coming, people like the mindset, like, how is she doing it? Like, I have no support. I'm not working a 9 to 5. God said He will provide, and He's been providing. So that's a success to me. Not what Pfizer said. You can work for a company your whole life, and you're never going to reach the potential you could have met if you gave your life, if you gave God the control over your life.
Mhm. So as you build this brand, and build your platform, what do you think the next step is? What do you want to go? What do you think the future holds for you? What are your goals in that arena?
Definitely, I want to start my coaching business. Someone brought it to my attention when he seen my work, but I don't know how he found me, but he sent me a message, say you should coach. And I'm like, really? He's like, yes. I was like, didn't think of that. I definitely want to start my coaching business. And also, once that become successfully, I definitely want to start seminars and retreats.
Mm.
And I want to start seminar. I want to travel the world and have like seminars for women around the world, globally even, and do that, you know. And wherever God else got, and He might got other plans as well at that time. But right now, that is what my vision is for this to become more visual, more visible. People know more about it. Me start my coaching business, and me start retreats and seminars and travel the world and go on like do my own seminars. So I have a team behind me who's supportive, who's same minded as mine, and that's what my plan is. That's what I want to plan to do.
You're gonna get all that.
Thank you.
Um, I will say you just don't have to sit in your singleness and feel like that you're living a life that you don't want to live. Because I'll be transparent, and I don't even know if I've ever shared this on the podcast. Y'all might know it, fellas, but me and my ex-wife were in a marriage for over 10 years that we should have left a long time ago. And so we both looked at each other with like, we ain't supposed to be doing this. We should have been stopped doing this. But those outside narratives were telling me, oh man, you're a leader in your community. You're a black man. You're the head of your household. You're going to be a failure if you walk away. You know what I'm saying? You're a product of a broken marriage, right? And see that effect it had on you and some of your younger siblings. You want to do that to your daughters? So I was telling myself all those false narratives, and it's been probably the smoothest process ever, right? On the other side of it, right? I survived it. I'm more whole. She's happy and whole. I'm happy and whole. We have a great co-parenting situation. So people that are just single are not the only ones living for everyone. You got a lot of, I can say it, miserable
Mhm.
married people, right? and she'll watch this and she won't get offended because we both on the same page. We were both miserable. You know what I'm saying? So if that helps anyone out there, regardless of what your status is relationally to the other person. So yeah. Purpose into action. What do you see yourself building outside of, the seminars, traveling the world? Like that's phenomenal. Like I didn't see that coming from doing all the research. I was like, that's what's up. I didn't see anything about that. So I feel like we're getting a first-hand, sneak peek right here to our listeners into where Octavia is going. So that's amazing. What's your dream destination for where you want to host one of your seminars?
Internationally, I would love to go to so many places I want to go, but Africa came to my mind first. But even Paris, the limit is limit for me. I don't mind. I just want to go globally. First, internationally. I mean, United States as well. But I just want women around the world to know there's a breakthrough for you. There's freedom for you. There's healing available to you. And I just want to show them that, me, like I said, I've been stuck not for years, especially in my 20s, not knowing my worth, my value, and making decisions based on that. And a lot of us are like that. I could tell, especially as women, when we're not healed by the way we think, the way we talk, the way we present ourselves. I had to learn I can look beautifully covered up, I can look beautiful. I don't got to show too much skin. You don't have to do all that extra stuff to gain attention and love, because you're already loved. I think a lot of us don't know that we are, because we feel like we've done so wrong that we're not lovable, or no one can love us. That's a lie from the enemy. Like I said, he's a liar. Okay. So definitely, like I said, I want to travel abroad. Sorry, abroad, but Africa. That's the first thing that came to my mind. But again, wherever God, I just believe I have every vision I have, I believe is going to come. I believe those are God's visions downloading to me. Because again, I wasn't thinking this way, especially in the season I was in or where I thought I was going to go. These were not my thoughts. So I believe those are visions from God downloading. This is what's going to happen. Just keep going. Because right now it's so easy for me to want to give up because I don't see nothing happening. I see I'm pouring in, but not getting nothing back. But something in me keep believing. So it's like, they're not a tug of war, but it's like God said, what did I say was going to happen? Keep trusting, keep believing. You have something, there's something that is inside of you that the world has to see. And no one, my family wouldn't think it was coming from me. They wouldn't think it was from me. Like I said, I was shy. I was an introvert. They called me the outside, the black sheep of the family. So they wasn't expecting this from me. I wasn't expecting this from me, to be honest. But it was inside of me the whole time. This wasn't I was just blinded from it because I didn't know. So yeah.
It's funny we got Yannick here today, but Yannick's the one that always speaks about the feeling that you get, that the feeling that you get when the Lord wants you to do something, when the Lord's moving you to do something, the undeniable energy that you receive. And it's interesting that you say it that way, because a lot of times we know when something doesn't feel proper. We know we're not, and we know we're not doing the right thing in life. We know we're not comfortable, and we like to attribute that feeling to everything else, but the Creator trying to properly motivate you to go where you're supposed to go. And we ignore it a lot of times, and it's important to get that message out, and let people know that you're not stuck where you are, and is a greater purpose for you. You gotta go out there and find it, and lean into it. Those people that are doubting themselves, and not ready to make those changes in life, do you have any advice for them? Any type of tips to people to put away their past and lean into their future goals and dreams?
That's good.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say, where's the doubt coming from what someone else has said or what you believe of yourself? I think a lot we listen to what people say and we apply it and we believe it. So if the doubt is coming from someone else because they don't believe for themselves, so I would say if you believe wholeheartedly, because like I said, for years I thought me working for a company wasn't just for me, and I kept fighting it because I felt what did my parents say? You got to go to work, you got to make ends meet. So where's the doubt stemming from? And I would say if it's stemming from your childhood or what someone said, I would say give it to God. I didn't get this way overnight. This took time. This took me admitting. This took me letting it all out and not pretending that I was everything okay. So I would say first and foremost, where's it coming from? What do you believe? What's in your heart? Because a lot of times this desire that you have is not your desire, it's the desire that was given to you. What does that say? And if you believe that this is for you, give that over to God. He will get you through it. He will heal you. He will, I'm telling you, he would. Because again, if you don't and you try to do on your own, your strength, it's not gonna work. You're gonna fall back into what so and so said, you're gonna fall back into what you believe for yourself, and they're all lies. That's how he wants to keep you stuck. Right where he wants you to be. The enemy does
Mhm.
because he don't want you to step into your true part, your purpose and calling. The enemy wanted me to give up. That's what he did. He kept. I didn't. Like I said, I kept fighting. I kept finding. I would lose one job. I would go apply for another one. But that's what society said to do. You want to make money? Go get a job. Okay. But knowing God, me knowing who I am, again, I want to quit, but God had to literally take it. He had to distract me from it, but I accepted it at that point. I said, you know what, it's no need for me to keep fighting because he gonna keep distracting it. So I would say first and foremost, where the doubt coming from, give it to God. You can't do this by yourself.
Vince, I'm with you. I brought Yannick on here that we can speak on this, dog. Cause normally
Because
we be in
I'm
our
gonna
meetings,
answer your
we talk
question
about
right
nothing.
now.
Yannick be like, oh man, he be like the
We
wise
started this
soothsayer
whole
got
we
something to
started this
say.
whole thing. We started this whole thing by saying, this is it's refreshing, right? Because at the end of the day, all the distractions that's out here, it takes us away from our true purpose of why we even created it from the get go. You know, and you lose that time. See, the time that we give to devices and work and things of that nature, your life becomes monotonous, right? And you forget to have these conversations that Octavia is talking about, right? Um, and these conversations lead to true inner peace, right? But my thing is Octavia, you know, once you if you're struggling to even find that piece, how does the book and some of the the actions that you would be able to describe for folks, what directly can impact someone's life to make that transition out of toxicity, you know like what is some of the best practices that you could share with some folks without giving up some of the IP intellectual properties and things of that nature, right? Because that's to me, I think that's what's going to really help the people, right? Hearing a personal testimony put into a roadmap of how to get out of that monotonous, routine that we have every day without giving the glory to our creator. Let's just say it point blank,
Mhm.
right? But specifically from your workbook, what are some of the steps that someone can take?
Well, it is a step by step guide, so it's going to be hard to not do it. Literally, I'm giving you step by step, and I also would say this is not going to happen overnight. Uh, This didn't happen overnight. So again, this is a daily walk. I'm in prayer every day, not because everything is well in my life. I'm in prayer every day because I know how to respond to what's happening around me. I don't try to figure it out on my own no more. The old way of thinking, you would transform that way. So I go to God now. I don't and if I make a mistake, what's going to happen, I say, God, forgive me and help me to develop what you need for I don't continue making it. So I would say be patient with yourself. Just because you read it one time, your life is not going to just shift.
Mm,
Reread it, you
right.
know, take your time with it. Healing is a process. Anything you want to transform, it takes a process. Like when you want to lose weight, it takes a process. Nothing happens overnight, you
Mhm.
know, and be patient with yourself. Don't try to be perfect. That was my biggest flaw. I said, I gotta be perfect in order for God to be pleased with me, or I gotta be perfect in order to get. That's a lie. Um, it's okay to say, God, I don't know, I don't get it, I need help, I'm stuck. Help, like it's a daily walk. You cannot do this one time. You can't go to church one time and think you're saved for the rest of your life. It's not going to work. It takes time to develop what I have now. Again, I went to therapy. Don't be ashamed of going to therapy. Therapy really was an eye opener for me. It really showed me that a lot of my decisions stem from my childhood. Didn't know that. So I'm as, I say, God, till this day, like, God, heal me from pain that I may be carrying, that I may not be aware of, from childhood. This is a daily walk, y'all. Ask for healing every day. I ask for healing. I ask God, give me a heal heart every day, heal my mind and my heart. So don't think this is a one time, oh, I'm fixed. No, it doesn't work. But reread it. It's yours forever. You write. I give you a pen. You can write in it, because I ask you questions, because this is the inner work on you. It's between you and God. Okay, these are not just words I say because they sound good. No, we're gonna get in it. We're gonna talk to that pain. We're gonna talk to that scar that you've been hiding and no one knows. We're gonna talk to it. We're gonna speak to it. We're gonna reveal it. We're gonna pray about it, and we're gonna give it to God. You're gonna write it out. Mm-hmm. So in the workbook, you can write in it. I ask you questions. You can journal. I give you prayers. I give you devotional thoughts. I give you, again, my testimonies in here as well. I want people to know that this was not just words I'm saying. This was my actual testimony. And take your time with it. It's not a rush go thing. And reread it if you have to. And don't feel guilty. Like, oh, I still feel the same way. Okay. It's okay. Be patient with yourself. And this is not going to happen unless you have a relationship with God. I'm telling you that now. You can read it 100 times, but if you don't give God your pains and your worries, your concerns, they're just going to be words you're reading. Mm-hmm. And you have to really take this serious, because I really want everything that has in store for my life. I don't want nobody to prevent it. I don't want to stay in my own way. My relationship with God got deeper because I come to him daily now, not just a one-time thing.
That's dope.
There are people that go to church 3 times a week, that know how to pray some of the most amazing prayers that make people feel good, that are in pulpits preaching sermons, that don't have a good relationship with God, right? These people are not perfect, right? We think because we got to be in a certain position, or because I read the Bible front to back 8 times and I can recite scriptures. God, as someone who's almost done reading the Bible all the way through for the first time in my life, I kept telling myself year in, year out, oh, it's going to be my New Year's resolution. God does some of the most amazing things from the most flawed people in the Bible, right? The main people that we hear in the Bible all the time were flawed. Moses didn't even want to, step up to the plate and fulfill his prophecy because he had a stuttering problem, and he had imposter syndrome way back in the day, right? But God was like, nah, that's gonna be you. So yeah, we got to step into that greatness and stop telling ourselves what we not gonna do in that little voice when God is telling us that we need to move a certain way. So I appreciate you saying that, Octavia. Thank you. This was a powerful conversation. Like I said, I thought it would be. So, any last parting words that you want to impart on a woman, right? Because you cater a lot of your stuff in your book and in your workbook to women. Talk to that woman right now that may be dealing with toxicity in her life, that is looking for something like you were looking for. Yeah, we'll talk to her. Let her know what you have in that book and how she can transform through all the plethora of information that you have.
Definitely, I would say that you're not alone. Toxicity does not happen to you. You're not the only one. I know you feel like you are. That's why when I do my seminars, I want to title it "I Am You and I'm With You," because a lot of times you think because I'm on this pulpit that I got it all together. No, I'm with you. I'm you. I'm in that seat with you. So I want her to feel that you're not alone. That if God did it for me, He could do it for you. There is a blessing. There is a life that God wants you to live, but you have to step into it and not doubt it and trust it and do it scared. Do it not knowing. Like I'm trusting God. I don't know everything step by step. I'm just trusting Him along the way. And toxicity is not somewhere you have to stay forever. You have to choose. However, God's not going to force us. He's not going to. He didn't force me. He said, "This is what I want you to do." I still had to decide to do it, and you have to decide when is enough for you. Are you when is enough enough? Do you want to continue living a life that you're not fulfilled and you're not happy, and you're trying to go through life trying to find voice to fill up your emptiness? Because that was me. I try to look for love in the wrong place. I try to fill up emptiness and loneliness and void, and it never got filled. The only person that can fill up that void is God, and only how you're going to fill up your void is knowing who you are. Now that I know who I am, even though I'm still very much, God didn't change my status, I'm still single, but knowing who I am, makes me feel whole and complete. So I'm not looking for no one to complete me now. I'm looking for someone to add to what I already have and not complete me. But you have to decide that. You have to make a decision for yourself and say, you know what, I don't want to live this life. I'm tired of being unhappy and fulfilled. I'm tired of settling when I know I desire and should be earned or should be giving much more. So the decision starts with you. That's what I would say.
Now, if she wanted to get your book, get your workbook, and more information, what's the best way for somebody to get in contact with you or purchase your book or those type of things?
Yes, I have my own website. It's https hyperlink with the two I can't say them two dots and the two lines, toxicity to thriving.com. So it's the title of the workbook. It's available there. I also have it on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and TikTok Shop. But I prefer people go to my website. Both workbooks are available there now. And also I'm on Instagram, purpose underscore into underscore action. You can follow me there. And TikTok is Octavia Joy. So
Hmm.
those are the platforms you can reach me at.
I love it. I love it. Yannick, Mr. Rowe, appreciate you joining us tonight, man. Any parting words from you, sir?
I hope that people rewind this, take it in, listen to it all the way back again and again, right? Because Octavia is bringing us into a age and a moment that we need this, right? And people, you know, hopefully feel that same refreshing um, experience through this conversation. Can't reiterate that more. Um, I'm just blown away. I can tell you that much. It's funny that when Octavia and I first interacted, it was just like, I felt good vibes, and we didn't even see each other, right? So that's how
Mhm.
the spirit kind of works through us all, in that kind of capacity. And I know that the workbook is going to bring a lot of healing to folks that need that. So thank you, Octavia, for bringing this to the people.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Benzino.
Hey, man. I feel like no matter what you believe or how you believe, we all got some inner work to do, um, on some level. And so, um, hopefully, there's someone out there who was inspired to get that inner work and definitely look into this workbook that Octavia is bringing to us. And overall, like Yannick said, it's just a good conversation to have. It's a lot of times, we take spirituality and out of the conversation for afraid to offend others or the case may be. But a lot of times it's things that need to be said. It's commonalities in interfaith commonalities that we all could talk about and all gain from. So I'll reiterate what Yannick says. It's just good conversation to have. And don't be afraid to have similar conversations with your friends, with your family, with people you love and opinions you respect, because you know what may inspire you to be greater in the future.
For sure. For everyone listening, don't just listen to this. Like if you that little voice that you feel is speaking to you, let that move you to action. Let that inspire you to get the book, right? To support Octavia and all the work that she's doing, to seek therapy, to be a better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today. You know, that mama mentality, little things over and over and over, and that compounding. Um, and becoming the best version of yourself. So, again, Octavia, thank you so much. If
Thank
there's
you.
anything you need of any of the three of us or the 12 men of the Extraordinary Investment Group or our community, we're building like-minded community. You can go back to the previous episodes, all those individuals in their different vocations. We're all family. We network together. We put each other in positions to thrive. So, yeah, you fam now. And
Oh, thank
looking forward to
you.
seeing you at our Juneteenth Black Business Expo coming up
Mhm.
here on June 21st in Silver Spring, Maryland. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know how we do with that. So looking forward to everybody celebrating for Juneteenth in the DMV. Yeah. I'm Nate. That's Yannick. That's Benz. We are three of 12 Black men in the Extraordinary Investment Group. And again, inspiring folks through education and smart financial strategies. And y'all have been educated. Y'all have been inspired tonight by Octavia. So again, thank you for all the support. Thank you for the listeners. Thank you for the followers. Thank you for sharing it with. I got people from all over the place hitting us up saying we appreciate these conversations. So again, keep sharing, and y'all go out there and keep being extraordinary. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.